So here's a problem with our van. Turn off the beetles or I'll get nailed. Okay, we put it in reverse. Service park assist system. Unfortunately, I never noticed that until we went to pick it up. And, well, it is what it is. They say they ordered a part and we can go back down there and get it fixed. But it's a long journey to go down there. So we're just going to have a look at this thing and see what we can find out. Now, first thing we want to do is see if the sensors here are getting power and if they're actually operating. And if they are, they'll go, what they do is they make a noise and they listen for that echo, the return of the noise, and that's how they figure out how far away an object is. So you can't hear the noise, but if you put a screwdriver against it, you'll actually hear it go click, click, click. That one's dead. 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 Now, it also has cross path and blind spot monitoring. And those are radar sensors that are mounted up in here inside the bumper. But there's one hanging down there. Now, there's white paint on it. We know that at one point in its life, this van was popped on this corner and it was repaired. It's on the Carfax. It was like a $1,400 repair or something. So it didn't really damage anything, just the bumper. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop the bumper off and see if we can get at the wiring and see if we can see any problems back here. We also should look in here and make sure there's not a fuse that's blown, because that could be a simple explanation for our problem. So this here is the fuse for it. Let's check that. Well, it looks okay, but we'll test it just to be sure. I checked the fuse with a meter and it's okay. So I popped it back in. We're going to go ahead and pull the bumper off. And that's pretty easy. You'll see here there's upper and lower bolt. The taillights come right out. There's a push fastener in behind the taillight. Then a couple of 10 mil bolts on either side. And then there's a few fasteners here. And the rest of it, it's just push fasteners from underneath. And the bumper comes right off. All right, we've got the bumper down. So now I'm going to get this unplugged and we're going to have a look inside it and make sure we haven't got any green connections. I can't really find anything with the sonar sensors, but I did find this. This is the radar sensor for the blind spot detection, and it's supposed to be glued to the inside of the bumper right there, and it had fallen off. It was actually down sitting on the exhaust pipe. That can't be very good, so we're gonna have to try and get this back attached. You can see here originally it was on with some kind of two-sided tape, and then somebody's tried to put it on with some glue, which didn't work. That one over there is on with the two-sided tape, and it seems to be sticking quite nicely. So I guess we'll have to redo that. And I'm still not quite sure why the sonar sensors don't work. The wiring all seems to be good. So I don't really know why that system is not working. I was expecting to find a green, a green connection or something, but I haven't found anything. We've got that stuck on with some 3M trim tape now. now I've got something else I want to deal with. The old heat shield. So we're going to pull this thing down and do the old large washer trick on it. And that'll at least buy it a little time. There we go. I even found some big stainless steel washers. So hopefully it won't rot away. It won't rot away as fast this time. Now we'll put the bumper back on. It's all back together. Let's start it up and put it in reverse and see what happens. Service park assist system. So there you go. It detects the problem even before I've even put it in reverse. Yeah. The problem persists. Okay. We're all good there. No powertrain, but that's just powertrain, right? Let's go to Dodge OEM Enhanced. Let's see if that brings up anything. No enhanced diagnostic trouble codes are currently stored in the vehicle's computer. So yeah, this thing, it just reads powertrain problems. This is not a powertrain problem. So we're trying something else here. This is Alpha OBD on my laptop. It's I think maybe a tiny bit more advanced than my old scanner. All right, so we've got this thing set to Dodge, Grand Caravan, and right now engine. We don't want engine. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here to parking. Open that. So there's our module, our parking module, and we're going to connect. So you can see here, status, connected. So we're going to go here, false. And look at that. We've got a code. B1297, which is sensor number 10, short circuit, positive to battery. So, we have to figure out which one is number 10. They're numbered across the back of the van. And yes, there's only 4 sensors on the van. It's just the way Chrysler numbers them. The sensors can be numbered from 1 to 12. I guess the first thing we can do is try to clear it, right? Check that engine is off and key is in MAR. I guess that's what we are. Okay. The code is gone. So let's now see if we can start this thing up. And see if it tells us we still have a code. Let's see. Vehicle speed. That's interesting. And I put it in reverse, and you'll see now the code doesn't come up. So let's back up a little bit and see if we can see if we sense the picnic table. I think we probably should be sensing the picnic table back there already, but no, there it is. What do you know? We fixed it. There we go. So you can see the code never came back. The system works. I'm trying to find, I should be able to go here and find, let's see here. We should be able to find the settings for this thing. Come on. There we go. should be a screen that says setup. There we go. We're using these buttons here. Now, park assist. Here we go. We're going to go over. Sound only. We want sound and display. There we go. Okay. Now scroll back up. Vehicle speed. There we go. Now let's back up, and I think it should display in here. Park assist system is on. Warning, object detected. So that's good. Using Alpha OBD here, we are able to get a little further into things than I can with my normal little scanner. I guess it's just mostly a powertrain scanner. And it's fixed. All it was just a code from somewhere before. Now, it was a code for that sensor number 10. So if it does somewhere along the line light that up again, like we'll see, maybe the first time I drive it on a rainy day or something, that code's going to come back. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, the Park Sense is fixed and operating. Well, we've had this thing like a week, and already the money light is on. Oh, brother, no wonder they tried so hard to sell me the warranty, eh? Let's see if we can figure out what the heck is up with it. Maybe it's just something simple. 2016 Dodge, is this your vehicle? Press yes. P0128. What does that mean? Thermostat rationality. I looked it up quickly, and yeah, P0128. Basically what that means, see, thermostat rationality. So basically what that means is the computer says the engine is not running at the temperature that I think it should be running at this point in time. So basically either the thermostat is kind of hanging open a little bit, letting it run too cool, or it's hanging closed, letting it run too warm. And from what I could see on the gauge here, driving around, it just goes up and kind of sits up around where it should. So we'll go ahead, like I said, we'll do a coolant service on it and change the thermostat. And this doesn't, of course, rule out the coolant temperature sensor as being a problem also, but my bet is the thermostat. So what we can do now is, a lot of times too with some of these codes, you could just go and erase them and you never see them again. Erase was successful. So now we should be able to turn the ignition off, start the thing up, and there should be no money light. There. Problem solved. Although I bet you all of our monitors probably have gone back to red, but that's okay. We'll get that sorted out. A drive cycle or two, and that should be fixed. No diagnostic trouble codes. Okay. All right. So I just did a little bit of reading, and I found out that what that meant when that thing says generic permanent code, that's something that they've come up with, so that you cannot clear the code. That's why it keeps coming up on the scanner. You cannot clear the code. It goes in there and it stays there until the vehicle's computer has decided that there's not a problem and it clears it. So all we can do is see what happens. And if it comes back, it comes back. Like I said, I'm going to change the coolant and the thermostat anyway. So we'll see if that nixes it. You can see there's the temperature gauge. It's kind of right in the range where you think it might be. But like I said, if the thermostat is a little bit lazy, where it's maybe hanging a little bit open and it takes the engine longer to warm up than it thinks it should, or it's sticking a little closed and it warms up faster than it thinks it should, or it runs a little warmer than it thinks it should. All these are things that could set that code. Or like I said, a bad sensor. Time will tell. Well, now we've got the thing in the shop. We got the park sense figured out. The thermostat thing, I cleared the code and I've been driving it around for a couple of days. And nothing else has happened. But now it's in the shop and we got something a little more serious going on. You know, a couple of times driving it around, I thought to myself that the transmission felt a little strange. Now, these 6-speed 62 TE, they are a little bit primitive. They do some strange things. They clunk and bang, and they do odd things. It's just how they are. But this one, it had a little flare between 4th and 5th gear. But I did some reading, and lots of people said that theirs did that too, and they'd done that for tens of thousands of miles. So I thought, well, hey. I'm not worried about it. So yesterday I took it on a bit of a road trip. And man, I was on the road for 4 hours. Highway, stop and go, more highway, city driving, and everything was fine until I made it almost all the way home. The last 2 stop signs I hit, the one over at the 3rd concession there, I rolled up to the stop sign. And when I went to go, I stepped on the gas and there was nothing there. The engine just revved up sky high, and before it could slow down, it caught and bang! And I went through the intersection like I'd been rear-ended by a dump truck, right? And, well, that's not good. And it did it again at the stop sign right in front of my house. So I let it cool off overnight. I checked it this morning. We've got 3 codes in the transmission for line pressure, 3 different codes, one for the actual line pressure, one for the sensor reading low, and there's another one. But they're all related. They all add up to the same thing, no line pressure. The first thing I did was check the fluid. It's down in there. It's one of these dipstickless transmission, but we got there it is right there. We got the little cap off, got a dipstick down in there and checked it. And it was a tiny bit high, but nothing too bad. It doesn't smell all burnt. So, that didn't really shed a lot of light on anything. But this sure does. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it or not. It sounds like an old Ford power steering pump, but it's coming from the front of the transmission. Let's see if we can hear it. Hear that? Thing sounds like it's got a supercharger on it. But I can assure you it doesn't. And then when you go to put it in gear, it's kind of like a delayed, mushy kind of thing. So I'm not sure what to think of that. What we need to do is pull the pan down, and I want to see what's in the pan. That's what we're going to do right now. So here's the transmission pan. And the first thing I'm going to say is that I do not see any evidence of this thing being mucked with. So like the previous owner saying, oh, I think there's a problem with the transmission and having it serviced or whatever and then trading it in because it kept acting up. I don't see any evidence of that. It looks pretty much undisturbed. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and pull the pan down and see what we see in it. We've got a nice clean drain pan here so we can analyze what ends up in it. And we'll go from there. Okay, here comes the fluid. We'll let that drain, and notice it's pulling the pan down now. You get that big gusher out. So it's draining out pretty good. We'll just let it go. We'll just let it go like that. Here's a sample of the fluid, and yeah, it's not too red anymore, is it? And give it a sniff. It smells, used up, maybe a little bit burnt, but I wouldn't say like completely scorched. I mean, I've seen some pretty nasty stuff come out of transmissions in my day. So, well, let's see what we see when we get the pan down. So, here we go. Here's the pan. It's not too, like, it's not got a 1/4 of an inch thick of clutch material in the bottom of it. It's definitely, definitely burned up. Yeah. And, the magnet here, they'll usually get covered in a little bit of light fuzz, but you can see on this one, there are a few kind of chunks of something. You don't really want to find chunks of stuff. You don't really want to find chunks of stuff in your transmission pan. That's something's come apart. So, and I would guess it's in the front of it. So, yeah, that's it. I'm calling it. We need a transmission. There's no service and refill and a new filter that's going to fix this. She's blown up. There's two kinds of transmission failures. There's burn-ups and there's blow-ups, and this might be a burn-up verging on a blow-up. I'm not, not quite sure, but I guess we're going to go down that road, aren't we? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and do some research. There's a lot of different ways of handling this. I can go to the dealer and get a reman transmission. I can go to the dealer and get parts to fix this one. I can go get a core transmission from a junkyard and fix that one. So I literally just have to right? You can do it kind of in one day. And quite frankly, because this thing still sort of runs and moves, I could put the pan back on it, pour that old fluid back in it, and at least I'd still be able to move the thing around, you know, so I could get it in and out of the shop here until I'm ready to actually fix it. The other alternative is from an independent rebuilder, a rebuilt transmission, but you know, unless you're at like a garage and you're familiar with the rebuilder's work, you never know what they've done, what parts they've put in it. So I'd rather have my hands in there and know what I've done to it, you know. So we will figure it out. Another alternative would be to buy a scrap van, right? One that runs and drives, pull the transmission out. Because even if I get a used transmission that is allegedly good, I'm still going to take it apart and overhaul it. For the cost of a few parts, that's the best way to go about this. So I've got a lot of options on the table. I'm going to go in and puzzle it all out. And when I know, you'll know. So anyway, what are you going to do? It's a used car. There's a reason that older vans are cheaper than newer vans. I mean, I could have paid, this is a 2016, I could have paid 10 or 12 grand more and got a 2019 or a 2020. Would it be any better? I don't know. I just like this one because the body and the interior are so clean on it, right? Anything else I can deal with, like that park sense issue in the monkey business with the thermostat. That's nothing. Even a transmission. I'm lucky. I'm able to do this myself, right? If you had to pay for this, you'd be wishing you bought the used car warranty. If that would even help you. I mean, if I'd have paid $3,500 for the used car warranty, I don't know how those things even work. They're kind of sketchy, them third-party warranties. I could take it somewhere and they'd say, oh, yes, sir, you're covered. And they'll just go get a bloody transmission with 200K on it from the junkyard and put it in. And, you know, strip all my bolts and forget to put half the clamps and hangers and stuff back on it. No thanks. Not for me. So I'm A-okay with this. It doesn't bother me at all. And this kind of thing, I don't really think it's even the thing. I can't even blame the dealer for this, because whatever came apart in this thing came apart. Like, there was no warning signs, nothing. Yeah, sure, it was. I don't want to say there was no warning signs. It was acting like a 62 TE. Some of them have a mind of their own, and you just kind of let them go. They're, like I said, they're a little bit primitive, you know. Oh, the ZF 9-speed that they use in the new Pacifica vans and the Jeep Cherokees, that thing is nice. Oh, I had a 2016 Cherokee with the 9-speed, and that thing was nice, man. What a nice transmission. But hey, it is what it is, you know. But like I said, I don't blame the dealer because they were booting it around. I took it for a test drive there. We went out on the highway. We went all over the place, right? And it never did anything like this. But to the credit, Mother Mopar always looks after me. This van let me do my whole trip, and the transmission never crapped out till I was like 100 yards from home. That's pretty good. Same like the old Caliber one time. We were having a problem with it, randomly quitting and not starting in the morning. And when it finally did crap out for good, it was right here in the driveway, not downtown Toronto at work. Yeah, Mother Mopar looks after me. Mother Mopar provides for me, and we will get through this. Anyway, enough blah, 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 right? You're saying, when is this guy going to shut up and get some tools out? So I'm going to wrap up this one. In the next video, I'll have the action plan, and we'll either have a core transmission that we're going to start working on, or we're going to be pulling this one out to overhaul it. I'm not sure. If I got to pay $600 for a core transmission, I'm not going to do that. If I could pick one up for a couple of $100, I may. Time will tell. Oh, she won't be matching numbers anymore. Do they even worry about that anymore? It's not a 69 Charger. Anyway, I'm going to take off now. I'd like to thank you for tuning into our little channel here. I hope you will come back and see us again soon. And before I get eaten alive by mosquitoes out here, this is Kevin checking out from the Claremont Classic Garage. So long for now.